Good afternoon, everyone. So today is 1st of February. We're starting a new month. This month is going to be a dual month, just two people at the same time having fun with us. So today we have Nicky and Aura. I know them from online. Like last year, I met Aura, and she's been joining us in lots of the meetings. She's German born but South African from heart, also her boyfriend. So that's all I'm gonna say. They are lovely together. And I'm very curious to know more about them. So give us a little introduction before we start with the questions. Thank you.
You first.
Okay, so basically, this is my boyfriend. We've been together for 3 years. We went to school together and we met in school, but we only started dating later on when we both left school. Um, and I live in Portugal at the moment, and he lives here in South Africa. I'm here to visit him on vacation. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say. He's born and raised South African.
Yeah, I've lived here my whole life in the same town. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and ask the first question. So if I understand you correctly, you met at school. So you're like friends, and then you became a couple.
Um,
But do you both are you both ready with the school now or just on a break? You planning to go further with your studies? How's it going?
tell your
Yeah,
story.
well, I didn't finish school. I dropped out in grade 10 because I started my own business when I was 17 years old. And then I decided, well, I first failed grade 10 because I didn't study or put in effort in school. And then I told my parents that I don't want to waste their time because I wasn't putting in effort in school and I wanted to work. So they said, okay, it's fine. So I passed grade 10, then I dropped out of school. So I started a jumping castle business in my town. And now I fix up cars, buy and sell vehicles, and I rent out, I don't know what you call it in English, but yeah,
Barbecue.
barbecues. But yeah, we call it spitbraais in South Africa. So yeah, and I do deliveries and
You still
um,
do the jumping classes?
yeah,
Yeah.
and waste removals and everything like that. So far everything is going very well since I dropped out of school. Um, so yeah,
Me, I plan on going to university. I'm just in the process of moving out of in Portugal. So I'll be starting university most likely in September again. And yeah, we went to school together. We were not really friends, but we had mutual friends. So my friend really liked him and had like a big crush on him. So
Oh,
he would be like invited to her parties because my friend had a crush on him, and I would be invited to the things because I was her friend. So we spent a lot of time together as kids, but we weren't really close. No, I wouldn't say that we
Aura,
were friends at all.
you are you're choosing a major. Which major is gonna be at university?
So I'm not 100% sure yet. I just want to get as many courses as I can under my belt. So I want to go into language and literature, but I also want to go into like the medical field. I'm not 100% sure where I want to go, but I definitely want to do something with languages so long while I figure it out.
Yeah, because we know that in South Africa they speak 11 languages. Are they all official languages, by the way? And how many do you
Yeah.
guys speak?
So there's 11 official languages. I speak two of them. He also speaks two of them, but I can do sign language as well. So I don't know if it's the same in South African Sign Language, which is an official language here.
But you guys
So we
speak
both speak two of
the
them.
same languages? The two languages is the same,
yeah,
or
Yeah,
and that is Afrikaans, or
yeah.
Afrikaans and English. So English and Afrikaans are official languages here.
all right. All right, Mariana is ready with a question.
Yeah, I know you people for a little while now, and I wanted to ask, I know the answer, but for the video, I wanted to ask, how is it like to be in a long distance relationship, and what do you think it's the secret to making it work?
Oh, that's really personal, but it's really good. Okay, Nicky's gonna
Mm.
tell us. He's the one who
Yes.
was left behind.
So a lot of communication, commitment, and loyalty. There's a lot of communication needed and a lot of love, if I can put it that way. So if you don't love the person that much, you're not going to want to do it. Yes, it's difficult, but I mean, if you are not willing to wait until you can see each other, work something out for the future, then it's not going to work. So
For me, like I have the same feelings towards it. It's just like it also just makes it very exciting when you see each other. You don't get to do a lot of things in person, so it makes it very exciting. And so it's something to look forward to. And I think a big thing in long distance is you always have to plan for the future. You always have to talk about what you guys are going to do together and what you're doing in the future. Like it helps motivate you to stay positive about the whole situation because it is a crap situation.
All right, Mariana, did they
Your
answer your
answer.
question?
Yes, they did.
Because I mean, you're together for 3 years, but how long did you stay apart actually? Not that long. Was it a long time?
when we first got together, we did 8 months long distance.
And then I surprised him
Yeah,
and
then
I moved back
she moved back, and then
Oh,
she went over again.
6 months ago.
She left again 6 months ago, so we did long distance again up until the 24th of this month, 22nd of this month, and now she's staying until the 17th of February.
oh, okay. So you stayed, but the first time, did you go to Portugal as well?
Yeah.
Or
So we
oh,
started dating when I went to Portugal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we contacted each other through Instagram.
okay.
And we were like, oh, we both know each other, and we just talked a lot. And then eventually we ended up dating, and then we dated for 8 months while I was
Okay.
in Portugal, and then I came to South Africa to surprise him. And then I decided that I was going to stay because I was still quite young, like I was 14, 15. So I had the ability to be able to stay here if I wanted to. You know, so I chose to stay here because I liked him. Um, and then, yeah, I stayed here for I think 2 years, and then I went over again.
All right. Danielle is ready with us.
Hello, it's about hello, nice to meet you too. It's a great pleasure. Um, about your plans for the future, where do you see yourselves living together? Do you plan to live in South Africa or there is another country in your mind?
Well, the thing is, we've actually spoken about this before a couple days ago. I can't leave right now because there's a lot that I've built here so far, and to start over in a new country with I don't know anything there. So she is gonna move there. She has everything set out for her over there. She doesn't have anything to do here. So her future for now is there, and mine is here. So if
I think we just have really separate lives at the moment, and eventually, like, which is fine. Like, it's good that we have different aspects and stuff. Um, it's just eventually we both said that we want to build a house together. We don't know where yet, but it'll still take a few years because we both do have lives that we want to live. Um, and then eventually we'll build that house. And I think we're both in the relationship to get married and start a family and all that stuff. So we will eventually build a house and do that.
for now it will just be
Long distance.
visiting each other through the year, and then eventually I'll probably be the one to move there.
It's just because I don't want to come back to South Africa. South Africa is it's going down really quickly.
Yeah, it's
Um,
not a good country.
and I think that Europe is a better area to, I think we both think that Europe is a better place to raise a family. But yeah, at the moment, I just have a life in Portugal. I mean, I'm planning on moving in with Mariana in September. So, uh, and he has his business that's going crazy right now. So, yeah, we both just have very different lives at the moment.
But there's any country that you would like to know better and think with care. Maybe in the future we can live together in this country, any country, or for now it's nothing else in your mind.
Well, the thing is, for me, she's traveled a lot. I've been stuck in this little town for my whole life, basically, and I haven't really been places. So to me, it's like I don't really know anything else besides where I am now.
Okay.
I think
So
yeah.
yeah, so I don't know if people ask me where would I like to live, I have no idea because I don't know anything else besides where I am now. So that's why I would like to just go travel a bit and see other places and get to know other people and other cultures and just know what something else is like besides where I am now.
I think it's also big, like he doesn't know the language in the countries that I want to go live in, so that's just a little bit difficult. I think it's definitely something that we need to research closer to the time, but for now we're just saving up money.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey, Renato.
Hello, Aura, Nicky. Nice to meet you again.
Nice to
And
meet you.
I think that you are doing the thing in the right pace. Yeah. Because I think that you don't have to live in a hurry to make decisions so important like that. So I think that you're completely right. Believe on me, because I am 5 times older than you. So I think that yeah, you're doing the things correctly. Okay. Okay. But
5?
yeah.
No.
Yeah, 5. Why not?
They're 20.
Who is 20? Yeah, they 20. Okay, almost 5. Okay. 10
Three and a
years,
half.
10 years, 10,
Three and a half.
4, no, 4.5. Okay. 4.5. Yeah. But okay, and 3.5. Sure. But okay, and I don't know, sorry for me, I didn't understand well about your studies in South Africa, Nicky. Could you repeat me? Sorry for that.
But sorry, are you asking about my business? Can you just ask again?
No,
Sorry.
the studies. So you dropped school,
Study.
but
Oh,
you didn't even,
studies.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you didn't even finish high
um,
school then, for us to
I
understand.
I didn't.
Yeah.
No, I didn't finish high school. I only do other countries also work in grades, or what do they?
No, so it's like
Yeah, something like that.
standard 8. He
Uh-huh.
finished
Okay.
at standard 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
all I have.
what are your plans for the future in terms of job? Do you have some idea what you are looking for?
No, not a job. I am building up my business as much as I
Okay.
can now. Yes, I want to get into real estate hopefully in the next year or two. I'm taking everything step by step.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I mean, when I was 15, I started working in the streets, just washing people's roofs. I always have done my own thing since I was little. So I mean, now the business is doing very well, the one I have at the moment. I do a lot of different things as well.
Uh,
So I'm completely fine with I don't want to go have a normal job. I enjoy working for myself and doing my own thing, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
make a lot more than having a regular job, if I can put it like that. It's to me, it feels better because I feel more productive and I feel like I'm getting further than where I would be at a job.
Yeah.
Because it would just, I did have a job, but I left it as soon as I can, as soon as I had more knowledge of how to make more money on my own.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, this is a big decision too, because by coincidence I led 2 sessions in English Brazil talk about job or be have a job or be a businessman, okay, or having a business. Yeah, so it's a hard decision because all the sides have advantages and disadvantages, pros and cons. Okay, so I think that it is another thing that you don't have to be in a rush to make a decision too. Yeah, but I think that Aura said something that it became me curious. What about she said that South Africa is going down. What's going down in terms of economy? What's the reason for this expression, for this comment?
The government, it's very corrupt, first of all. Second of all, the currency is very weak, and it's just getting weaker and weaker. Everything is just getting more expensive. I mean, everywhere, everything is getting more expensive, but over here, everything is just so corrupt that I mean,
we have load shedding again.
yeah, do you know what load shedding is?
No. So basically, the
No.
government, like, we have power outages. Well, I don't anymore, but he does. So they have power outages where the government switches off your electricity for a certain period of time. And you don't get paid back for it or anything. It's just a normal schedule because we're running out of electricity. And they just don't really care to fix it, honestly. A lot of the things in South Africa, they just don't really care to fix. And whoever we put in the Houses of Parliament, like, they're not doing well with the tax income and all that stuff. And it's just a very poor country as well. Like, there's a lot of poverty. And I think it's been going down for very, very long.
Yeah. No, I got it. I think that's the reason that South Africa joined the BRICS countries, okay? Because all the poor countries get together. So I think that's a reason to join this group. Okay, sorry for my joke, but anyway, okay. I think I think that you have a strong reason to try to improve or to enhance your life. I think that you are completely right. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, so let's go back to Mariana then.
No, I think Adenilson was first, or not?
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
No, Mariana, you can go,
Can I go?
please.
Let me just get prepared. Let me see my note. Wow. So everyone's pretty much asking about your lives separate, so I'm gonna ask about the relationship because I think it's something people want to know. I think that's the tea people want. So, besides your love for each other, is there anything else that brings you together, or that you like to take refuge in, like as a couple or even solo?
What?
Like something that brings us together, besides our undying love for each other.
Yes.
You actually. No, I'm kidding.
Yes, me. Yeah, that's the right answer. That's the right answer.
Well, I don't know. I don't really know.
We have a lot of similarities, and I definitely think that, like, sorry, Mariana, but I definitely think that he's like my best friend, you know. Next to Mariana, okay? Next to Mariana. But no, I think that besides being like a couple, I think that we're just really good friends. And we
Are you sure I'm
share
not?
a lot of
No, sorry. Go ahead.
sorry. And we have a lot of similarities, and we actually just like get along, you know. We can joke with each other, we can just act like friends. Yeah. Does that answer your question? I don't know if that answers your question.
I will take that. I'll take that.
And also, we both really bond over the fact that we love Mariana.
Yeah.
She's like our child. She's like,
That's good.
There you go.
But there was
That's
a
what I
second
was
part
looking
of the question, Mariana. What was that again? The second
Is there
part?
anything that you like to take refuge in as a couple or even solo?
what does that mean?
So, when things are not good in your lives, like separate or whatever, is there anything you like to go back to for help or just to get your head in the place?
Wow, that's a good
Okay.
question. Like when you're feeling down, right? You can have each
Mm.
other, right? You can count on each other. But if you're alone, for instance, and you're having a bad time, what do you do to feel better
Just like
besides calling
me.
each other?
Besides talking to me, what do you do?
Well, if if we can't talk to each other, I don't know what she does, but I don't really go do anything. I just go have fun. I either go to the gym
I
or
like the gym.
I just to get my head clear, and then yeah, that's about it.
I don't know. I think it's very difficult, like, to seek like each other when we're feeling bad because we are long distance. So I think it can be very difficult because sometimes you kind of just want to like hold somebody. But yeah, a lot of the time, if I'm feeling sad, like I'll just talk to him about my problems or why I'm feeling sad, and he does the same thing to me. Like that's why he said that the communication is the best thing, especially long distance. So I'm a very big, I'm an emotional person, and I like to talk about my feelings, and so I just tend to talk about everything,
Mm.
you know, or cry because people cry. But I like to cry when I feel
Yeah, or
sad.
cry. Yeah, or cry. Thanks.
All right,
Okay.
Vivian. Do you have a question, Vivian?
Oh, yes. I would like to know about the places in South Africa. Where do you like to visit? What your tips for other people around the world? Where you can visit? What do you appreciate about also song, culture in general? What is life in South Africa? I think it's so important to know. I would like one day, someday, to go to I think Cabo Verde.
Mm.
Hey, Cape Town, you mean.
Cape
Cabo
Town.
Verde is another
No,
country. Okay, let's
the
get
cap.
Ademilson to share the map. So we have an idea
Okay,
on how South Africa looks like and where they are
Yeah.
from, where do you like to visit, where are the best places to visit in South Africa. For
exactly.
instance, Cape Town is a very, very famous spot in South Africa. They're on
So
the west coast.
I think that Cape Town and South Africa in general is actually a very beautiful place. I just think that the people have made it quite dangerous.
Yeah.
But definitely there's lots of things to do in South Africa. It's I wouldn't say like it's like other countries because it's definitely very unique. Um, but there's the standard things to do. There's the standard things to do, like go to the movies or go to a restaurant or go to the mall. It's like I mean, there's pottery classes, even though I've never been to any of them. It's just
Cape Town is a very it's a very big city. I would definitely recommend going there if you do want to go visit if you do want to visit South Africa. I would say if you hear anything about Johannesburg, it is basically a bigger Cape Town, just more dangerous as well.
yeah.
There's obviously a
Okay,
lot more to do, but I personally I don't like Johannesburg, and a lot of the people that I know that that live in Cape Town uh, come from Johannesburg. They do not like Johannesburg. It's a very dangerous place, dangerous city, and yeah, I mean, I hear that in other countries people drive according to the rules.
Yeah,
So
they don't do
yeah,
that.
in South Africa, you don't really drive according to the rules, especially in the cities. People just drive how they want, so it's very dangerous. I mean, uh, when I was driving in Cape Town the other day, I almost got ran off the road like 3 times because people they don't look where they drive, they don't care, they literally drive wherever they want. So
I heard something from somebody that was like, in Cape Town, you always have to think for the next person. and you always have to like think about what they're gonna do on the road because
Yeah.
they're crazy, honestly.
And very aggressive as well, especially the taxis in South Africa. You should definitely watch out for the taxis. They are very, very dangerous as well.
The country itself is beautiful. Like the country is very pretty. We have really amazing wildlife. Honestly, it's just like I think there's more safety precautions, you know. There's more safety precautions in like you mustn't walk. You don't go out after a certain time. You go out and you don't do anything alone, you know. You always have certain objects with you for protection. So it's just I think there's more safety precautions, but seeing the actual country is a must. Like I think it's one of the most beautiful countries ever. It can be very overloaded with trash and litter, but otherwise, if you see past that, it's a very beautiful country.
So, Denise, can you let us know how far is Vredenburg?
Vredenburg?
How do you say it? Vredenburg?
Vredenburg.
Vredenburg from Cape Town.
Yes. And
No,
then
no,
is that Afrikaans,
Vredenburg.
guys? Because I would say it's a Dutch word. We would say in Dutch, Vredenburg? Burg?
Is
it Dutch?
No, I'm not sure. I mean, Dutch and Afrikaans are very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're extremely similar. But Vredenburg is, I think it's an Afrikaans word. Yeah.
What does it mean?
Right. Oh, so it's not that far. It's like by car 1.5 hours? Oh,
Yeah.
it's
1.5 hours. Yeah.
But to Johannesburg, on the other hand, is very far by car, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, that's a 2 hour
On the other
flight.
side of the country.
Yeah, it's a 2 hour flight if you fly. 2.5
Yes.
hours.
You see, guys, how far it is? It's really far. Wow.
Yeah, 15-hour drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. How are the roads actually in South Africa? Are they safe?
No, no, they're not. They, I mean, I've never been to other countries or driven there. I've never been outside of South Africa before. So, but yeah, you must really be careful when you drive because the people, first, South Africans are very aggressive people. Yeah.
On the road, they're very aggressive people.
Yeah, that's why you don't mess with the whenever a taxi almost runs me off the road or I don't hoot at them, I don't do anything. I just go on by my day. You should just keep yourself out of their business, I would say.
So I think that like, because I've seen roads in other countries, and I think that when I said beforehand that the government just doesn't care, it applies to the roads as well. Like they can't really care about filling in the potholes or making the roads safer for us to drive. The Western Cape, so our province, I don't know if you know what a province is, I'm not sure, but our place in South Africa, the roads are actually way better than if you go outside of the Western Cape, so other areas in South Africa. It's kind of feels like gravel road, like you're going on dirt, but it's the road. And then also people make it very unsafe. Like he said about the taxis, like they make it very unsafe. And there'll be people that just like throw rocks at your car for no reason. Like they just feel like it. So it can be very dangerous on the roads.
Wow. Okay. Let's go to Adenilson. He has a question. He's been waiting for a while.
Yeah, sometimes I raise my hand, sometimes I lower my hands. Hello guys, how are you? So yesterday I was looking for something to ask you guys about the South Africa because there are some curiosities that I had, like Nelson Mandela being the first Black leader in the world, and these things about apartheid, you know, and I don't know about the apartheid. The most people in South Africa, they are Black people or white people, and why this is segregation that took place in the past about Black people being mistreated by white people, and how is these today? Like there is this prejudice against Black people in South Africa, just as it was in the past.
Well, I would say South Africa is a very racist country. There's a lot of racist tension between the two cultures, which it's very sad because I don't have a problem with other races at all. I mean, and then you get a lot of, I feel like most of the Black people here in South Africa feel attacked through white people. And then they start getting aggressive towards white people. And because of the past, I mean, the past is in the past. I don't know why they should look stuck into that. But yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of tension in the country still about apartheid and everything, although it happened so many years ago. But yeah, there's a very big racist crisis in this country. I don't know if it's the same that side, but if you want to start a business here, and you get to a certain level, and you have a business partner, if you're white, your partner needs to be Black. You are not allowed to have two white partners. It's not allowed.
Right.
So yeah. So yeah, it's until that point where they feel like white people are taking over. So they set in that rule. And over the past couple of years, I'm not sure if other people from other countries know this. It was brought to the attention under Donald Trump the one time, and our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, dismissed it. But there's a lot of farm murders in South Africa where our president doesn't do anything about it.
Against the white people.
Yeah, especially it's only against farmers, white people.
Because like they're kind of still really hung up on apartheid, and they're kind of trying to reverse it now and make it against the white people. But to answer your question, yes, South Africa is majority Black, and we call them brown. I don't know how would you say it. Black people. They are majority. I think they're like 85%.
Color. They call it now colored people, right? We are not allowed to say Black anymore. It's colored.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So majority of South Africa is colored people. And then so they're trying to go back and make apartheid against the white people now.
Yeah.
Another reason that I really want to get out of, and I tried to get out of here, because it's just not. And like he said, the government is just covering up so much, because there's a lot of racism towards white people. And then there's a lot of the older generation, white people even have so much racism towards the colored people here. Like
there's
it's
a
crazy.
lot of there's a lot of the older generation of the white people here in South Africa. I have to say they are quite racist, majority of them. So I think that's also one of the biggest problems to why this whole racist thing is a big problem, because I don't know, a lot of the white people here are also very racist, which
doesn't help
at
all.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I have another question about the political. It is a political question about the capital of South Africa. We see that mostly the countries have one capital city, but in South Africa, you guys have three capitals, like one administrative, another legislative, and another judicial, like Pretoria, Cape Town, and Bloemfontein. Is that Bloemfontein?
Yeah.
Three capitals you have for is different from other countries. And do you guys drive it on the left side, like in England?
Yeah, left side,
all over the country.
Sorry?
Yes.
All over the country.
Oh,
yeah.
And I don't know, guys, if you guys noticed, but let me share again the map. There is something really interesting here. you guys have a country inside your country.
Yeah, we have two
Lesotho.
countries.
Two. This
Yeah,
one
Lesotho.
here also is Eswatini? Is what? It's Lesotho.
I've never
is
even heard of that place.
So we have two countries inside of our country, and it's kind of just, I think it was, I'm not sure. I'd have to go back to when I went to school here, and I don't remember the history. But I think that it was just because they didn't want to be part of the South African democracy and like politics and stuff like that. They just didn't really want to be a part of it, I remember. If I remember correctly, I'm not 100% sure. That's also another thing that I don't really know why there's three capitals. I'm sure if I had stayed in South Africa longer, they would have explained it to me in history going forward in high school. But I left in primary school already, like before high school. And then they had just always taught us that it was three, and they didn't really explain to us why. I think they would have if we'd stayed high school more.
Yeah, I also was looking about that some interesting things about South Africa. Like you guys was in the past, a lot of people went to South Africa to explore gold and diamonds, and also it is I read a book about a guy who had gone to South Africa to look for diamonds, and I forgot now. Sorry.
Kimberley is a country full of diamonds.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of different kind of there is this animal also that we can find just in South Africa is springbok. It's like a different kind of
great.
Yeah, I'm gonna share, guys, with you this animal. In South Africa, we can find like elephants, leopards, like buffaloes, the big animals we can find in. But this is different. Springbok. Let me share.
He's gonna go get a skin, like a springbok skin, because they're very hunted in this country. There's so many of them. So we make them for meat, and we make skin out of them as well. So he has a carpet. It's kind of gross, but anyway, this is the skin.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's lawful to hunt this animal. It's lawful?
Yeah, you can. It's very it's very hunted here.
Yeah, when I hunted them when I was 10 years old, I shot 3 of them. But you pay the farms they breed with them, and then you can pay the farm if you want to go hunt.
And you make meat from them, and it's the biggest. So we have biltong here, which is like beef jerky.
Yeah, it comes from biltong. It's like beef jerky. It's dried out meat,
and most of it is springbok.
But it is a wild animal, or people raise this animal? It's wild.
A wild animal. It's wild.
People don't raise it, like a cow, for example.
Maybe crazy people do, but I don't think
I think you can, but it's a wild animal, yeah.
But they're not very harmful.
No.
At all. I think there's ever been an attack?
You just have to watch out when you're driving at night. I almost drove one over
yesterday.
2 days ago. He jumped in front of my car. So yeah, they can leave a pretty big dent in your car if you don't miss it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for the answers.
Of course.
Okay, Mariana. Get ready, guys. She's gonna come again with a
You
very
hate to see me coming. You do.
Yeah.
You hate to see me coming. So, I need him back.
Yeah, it's business, of course.
Okay, I'll ask you either way, because I think you're the best to answer this one.
Of
So
course.
you're saying you're dating to marry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are some like insights, traditions, mentalities, or things like that you're bringing, or that you would like to bring to your future family? Or maybe kids.
So I can answer for both of us. It's that like I know that he's back. So
Hi.
what is some traditions that you want to bring to our kids and into our marriage and stuff from South Africa? What are some traditions that you want to bring into our marriage, into our kids from South Africa?
Well, a lot of South African food, definitely.
Yeah. South African food's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like biltong and is melk tart.
It's a dessert.
Yeah, mostly food.
Yeah, food.
There's not much culture here besides the food that I want to bring in. Yeah.
I think for both of us, like our parents didn't really culturize us on like heavy on South African culture. For me, I really like how South African men are raised. Like that. Okay, maybe I don't love hunting, but like the hunting and it's a very manly way of raising men in this country, and I really like that. I think he does too. And I have a lot of German culture that I want to bring, and I think that they should definitely be able to speak Afrikaans, which is very big in his family, and also it's just a part of South Africa that I also want to bring into the children. But there's no like marriageable traditions or anything like that. I think we're actually gonna have a very non-traditional marriage, like wedding and stuff like that. But we have something here in South Africa is that they're very Christian, very religious, and that's us as well. That's something that we'll bring into our marriage and to our kids. We're gonna teach them. We want to be very heavy on that as well. So
religion, food, and hunting. Yeah, so that's the cultures about South Africa that I want to bring into the family.
Same.
All right, thank you.
All right, Renato.
Yeah, I'm here again. Well, and I think in the 90s you have a famous doctor called Dr. Christian Barnard. He was the first man to Christian Barnard. He was the first man to make a heart transplant in the world, and he became very famous. He passed away 2001. How people hosted Christian Barnard? Is he a person that is that his value is recognized in South Africa?
No,
no one talks about him. I actually forgot about him. Like, absolutely no one talks about it. The only time I've ever heard about him was in a school project in primary school.
I think there is a hospital of him. I think it's the Christian Barnard Hospital. But honestly, I will say there's more about Nelson Mandela than there is about anybody else. Like you won't really hear about anybody else.
Statues about Nelson Mandela, there's books, there's everything. He's praised a lot till this day.
I mean, there's a Nelson Mandela Day. I've never think that there's been a Christian Barnard Day, which to me I find very ridiculous. I think that we should appreciate the people that come out of South Africa as well.
Yeah, there is a lot of controversy about Christian Mandela, about Mandela too. But okay, let's talk about that again. Okay, and but curiosity, change to geography. South Africa is a country that is 7 times smaller than Brazil. But I don't know if there is a kind of concentration in the main cities of South Africa. The population is concentrated in main cities, or are they spread all over the country?
So I actually think that there is the places that are less popular, like let's say Kimberley, where the diamonds are. There's a way less population. I would say that the population really increases very dramatically in the places that are more well known. Like Friedenberg, there's a lot of people, but it's also like it's nothing compared to somewhere that like Cape Town, you know. The population is definitely very spread. I mean, very enclosed into each other.
Yeah, because when you compare to Portugal, for example, if you intend to move to Portugal, for example, you are going to live in a country it's 10 times smaller than South Africa. Okay,
Yeah.
I remember that I have been there in Portugal 2 years ago, and I remember that I ran all over the country in maybe wow. I mean, I'm not consider Ilha da Madeira, but I'm Madeira Island, Wood Island. But I remember that I run all over the country in maybe 15 days, 14 days. It was enough. But I think that this would be impossible in South Africa because you have
No, I think it'd take very long, especially if you're avoiding the very dangerous areas, which is pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
So it would take you very long. Just even if the
yeah.
place wasn't dangerous, it would take you much longer to run South Africa.
Okay, good. Thank
But there's definitely places that are more quiet than other places.
you.
And we do have a
Okay.
lot of hut situations going on, right? So then there'll be areas that are not very
It's called
populated.
plakkerskampe in Afrikaans.
That's why I didn't know what to say in English.
So I'm not sure what they call it in English, but it's basically they build wherever they want. That's why South Africa is really it's dangerous because people that come outside of they don't belong in South Africa. There's not a lot of border control here. Anyone can walk in, walk out as they want. So the problem is what plakkerskampe is. They set up a bunch of little huts. Nothing is done to it. They're not taken away. Nothing. They don't have documents to live here. But the government does simply not care. They can't do anything about it because they know when the police starts going in there, they will be killed.
The police will be killed.
Yes. So they can't do anything about it, especially in Freddenberg. There's a lot of plakkerskampe, and it is becoming bigger than our town, where they just set up their houses, and it's becoming really dangerous. I can't walk out on the street anymore. I've gotten robbed every single time recently that I've walked on the street, so I don't walk there anymore. So I would say that yeah, it's becoming very bad here.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Thank you very much for your answer. Yeah.
All right, Daniel.
Well, I would like to know what do you do to have fun together since safety is an issue? What are your hobbies and how do you celebrate special occasions like birthdays while being apart?
Well, celebrating birthdays while being apart. It's a simple.
Doesn't really happen.
Yeah, it's a phone call, happy birthday, and yeah, that's it. So we just talk, and yeah, that's pretty much the birthdays when you are not together. But otherwise, while she's here and we want to do something, there are some. Well, where I live, there's not much to do. You can go to the beach. You can. Go eat something at a restaurant. That is pretty much it. If you want to go do something and have fun, you would need to go to Cape Town, which is closest to us, the city closest to us. There you can watch movies. There's a lot to do, wide variety of unique things that you can go do, fun activities. But yeah, if we're just here in town and we want to do something, there's really not much to do. We are at home most of the time, or we go to a friend's house.
I mean, I feel like when you haven't been in each other's presence for so long, like when you guys like just like sitting in bed together, like watching a movie is amazing, you know, because you just get to be there with that person. So we don't really have to do anything. Just being together because we haven't seen each other is really nice.
Yeah, nice. Thank you.
What's the main sport in South Africa?
Rugby.
Rugby.
Yeah, rugby. Yeah, it's a very does Portugal also play rugby?
I think they know what rugby is. This isn't just Portugal, it's Brazil, my love.
Oh, are you familiar with rugby? Anyone?
Yeah, I know it, but here Brazil is not common. People practice rugby.
No, so here it's very, very big.
It's extremely big. Yeah.
Obviously, we have our other sports, like tennis and football, soccer.
But rugby is
very big.
because
It's like an
especially
American
because
football. It's like an American football or not? The
It
rules
kind
are
of is.
different.
it's just a lot more aggressive.
I was going to say that.
It's a very rugby is an extremely aggressive sport.
Can imagine.
Yeah, if
Because
you go look
they don't use helmets. They
Yeah,
don't use
they
helmets to
they wear
protect their
helmets.
heads. Yeah.
and they like fighting.
Very much. It's very entertaining to watch, I must say.
Yeah, they love fighting.
And then we have another South African sport that's mainly for girls. Okay, actually only girls play it, but it's called netball. So it's kind of like basketball.
How does it spell,
It's
Laura?
just-
Sorry. How does it spell?
It's NETBALL. It's basically like basketball. It's a sport majority for girls, and it's kind of, I think, the only other rule is that you can't lift up both of your feet at the same time, and you're not allowed to dribble the ball. So I used to play it when I was a kid. But yeah, it's a majority female sport, and that's a South African sport that we have. But yeah, rugby is our biggest.
Especially because South Africa is one of the best rugby teams in the world.
We've won 4 times.
No.
I'm so proud.
There's that
thing that I'm proud
film,
about.
Invictus. There's that film, Invictus. A good movie. I watched it. Invictus. I don't know if it's the same name in English. With Matt Damon. It's a nice movie about
Invictus.
Invictus.
Yeah. You should go and look at some rugby clips or videos, and you'll see the way they play. It's very dangerous sport.
If you like to watch like aggression, it's a very nice sport to watch.
A lot of action.
Yeah, the rules are just very different to other games that I've ever seen. But I think if you live in South Africa, as a female, you've either played netball, and as a male, you've either played rugby. I mean, he played rugby.
Females also play rugby, yeah. But males do not play netball, I believe.
I think that one of the reasons that football in the United States is losing part of their popularity because the aggressivity, and many people switch to soccer in a way to practice a sport less violent than football, American football. And I think that the same happens in South Africa because it's dangerous to practice this kind of sport like without protection or something like that.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying earlier with the how they raise their men here in South Africa, I will say that they raise them with a lot of like hunting and not aggression, but very tough.
In like Afrikaans culture, Afrikaans culture is very respectful, I would say. So,
but they're very tough, and that's why I think that rugby is okay here, and we're very okay with it because they raise their men very tough. So to be able to do that sport, they're very okay with it.
All right, Mariana.
Okay, so I'm not going to make any
Put them
more
on the
of my.
spot.
I'm not going to do that anymore. Just one last question, but I'd like to say something else. Just like, excuse me, just like rugby is very big in South Africa, in Portugal, the continent, football is something else. And then in Madeira, the little island, it's rally with the cars, just something I think that's curiosity. But the question.
We don't have a lot of racing here. We don't have racing at all, basically. Tennis is big here as well.
Tennis? Yeah, not here. But the question, is there anything about South Africa that you'd like people to know before moving in? Besides the government and the power outages and everything you've talked about.
So something we haven't already said.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, not really. I mean, it's a nice place if there wasn't so much crime. The only thing I would tell people before you move into South Africa, just be aware of the crime. That's it. I mean, it's not going to get better. It will never, ever, ever get better. it will just get worse. I don't see it getting better at all. It hasn't gotten better in the last 10 years, and nothing has improved at all, like with government-wise or crime-wise. So crime is crime, and the government is the only thing I would warn people of wanting to live here.
I would say that yes, people can be very dangerous, but people here I also find are very friendly, like very, very friendly people. And honestly, if you're gonna move here or even visit here, I'd say smile, because we love it when people just smile at us when we're walking down the street. We're very friendly people, I think. Just you obviously get dangerous people. It's just majority of South Africa, very friendly, very smiley. We like to talk a lot.
I thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
I will go ask the last question actually. So Nicky was saying he was born and raised in South Africa. He has never left the country. How about your heritage? And then with the Aura, I know, but can you tell us about that as well? And Aura, especially for you, like you're feeling like you feel 50-50, 70-30. How do you feel when it comes to countries and heritage? So
how South
for
African
you,
do you
Nicky, for
feel?
instance, are you both parents? Do you consider yourself whites? Are both of your parents or grandparents are also born and raised in South Africa and so on?
So do you only have South African culture?
Yes, my dad is South African, my mother is South African. I'm only South African, yeah.
So do
Yeah.
you feel very South African?
Yes, I feel very South African.
100% South African. So I've actually always thought that he's a little bit Portuguese or Mexican or something. We just see it like in his grandma or something.
So my grandma is apparently her mother is Portuguese.
But you've never really been brought into that culture.
No, I don't really know that side of my family very well. So yeah, I mean, I don't really think there's much of other, how do I say, cultures in me. I think I'm just pure South African.
And yes, both his parents are white. White South Africans, Afrikaans. They're very Afrikaans, actually. He has
Extremely Afrikaans.
He actually has like a really good English accent for Afrikaans people.
Yeah. The Afrikaans people here don't speak English very, very well.
They don't.
Yeah.
But for me, I do not feel South African at all. I think I hear it in my accent sometimes, but I don't feel like I have lots of roots here. It doesn't feel like my home either, even though I lived here for very, very long. I feel very German, but it's also just the way that I was brought up. I was brought to really embrace German culture more than I was South African. Even though my mom is South African, she always wanted me to be German more than South African. So I feel very German, and I don't really think that I feel anything else. My goal is to move towards Germany. So hopefully we actually end up living there.
I would like to live just somewhere else besides South Africa, but I just need to get to that point financially first here in South Africa for me to go out.
I mean, I feel very Portuguese when I'm in Portugal sometimes. But then Mariana makes fun of my Portuguese accent, so I don't feel
Awful.
Yeah.
But she's learning.
Simone, just a curiosity. Sorry for my last question. And how do you do to deal with 11 languages in the country? Because probably you have African and English as the main language, okay? So, but how do you do to handle these different languages in the country?
Well, majority of the people that are here, they can speak English, they understand it. Mostly I come across people that speak Xhosa, Sesotho, and yeah, that mostly those languages.
And Zulu.
And Zulu, yeah.
There's lots of Zulu. I just think that South Africa has so many foreign people coming in to visit the country all the time. So it kind of just doesn't really feel, I think you're always just hearing different languages
Yeah.
left and right. So it doesn't really bother us or anything. Sometimes it can get like, what are they saying? Because when you're in your country and you don't really understand what they're saying, it can be a little bit frustrating. But I
Yeah.
think that there's so many foreign people that you just don't really doesn't really bother you that much. Just
Okay.
normal.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Simone.
No, no worries. Okay, guys. You see, it felt so good and in ease that we could keep going for another hour maybe, but time is up and we're gonna have to finish this session. I would like to thank you so much because I know it was difficult. Aura was in Australia traveling, visiting family, and she had to fix the schedule for us. And Nicky is always so busy with his job and everything. So, guys, I really appreciated the time. And also, like, for you to explore, to share your deepest kind of the relationship, like Mariana was asking some questions. So I'm very glad you were able to just answer. No shame, no problem. It was nice. And also because all of us here, exception with Mariana, we are older than you. So for you to just feel comfortable talking to us was pretty good. So thank you once again.
Thank you,
No
Nicky and
problem.
Aura, having you here. Nice. Have a very good rest of the
Bye-bye.
Thank you for
weekend.
having
Thank you,
us.
Bye-bye.
guys.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Have a great
Yes.
Thank
week
you.
ahead.
Oh, have a
Bye-bye.
lovely
Bye-bye.
weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.